Hello, everyone. Well, anyone, I should say. Hello, anyone, and welcome to day number 11 of World Watercolor Month. Yay! So, day 11 already. I know they're flying by, but I just want you to know how much I look forward to being here every morning and hanging out with you all and splashing our stamps and getting makey. Today has something a little bit different. As you know, like yesterday, we did something a little bit more illustrative and we stamped in a black outline and painted in using watercolor. And so today we're going to kind of combine uh, both of those things. We're going to do a little watercolor stamping and a little stamped outline to create a greeting card. Now, I don't usually make a lot of greeting cards. I know it's, I probably should make a lot more. I've never really been a card maker that much. I do enjoy making small pieces of art and then plopping them on a card. So I guess that makes me a card maker. I think sometimes my cards are a little boring because I see so many people's awesome, beautiful cards that have so many elements to them and obviously take a lot of time with cutting out and using different uh, die cuts and all sorts of fun things. But I've just I have a terrible admission to make to all of you, and that is that I've never used a die cut machine. I have some die cuts, but I don't have a machine, and I have not ventured there. So I guess that sort of leaves me out of a lot of card making techniques. But I do enjoy, as you know, making small pieces of art. And sometimes I will just then apply them to a couple pieces of mat and a pretty piece of cardstock, and voila, there's a card. So, but to me, excuse me, the stamping and stenciling and painting is most all the fun anyway. So, like I said, today we are going to watercolor, but we're going to combine both techniques. We got something a little more illustrative, and then we're going to do this border just using my little splashing of the stamp technique. So we'll go ahead and get started. I am going to be using the new Joni Hallmark stamp, which I find to be practically irresistible. And then we have our little pattern vine, and then the three small flowers that I just came out with not that long ago. So it's just three stamps and basically our same core palette. I'm going to use my little classic set. If I need to pull in a couple colors, I of course have my tube colors handy and my palettes over here to the side. So we're going to get started with, well, I wanted to show you the stamps stamped out so you can see the images, because I know when I pull them this way, a lot of times you can't really tell what they are. So these are the 4 images that I used. And again, I'm just working on 300-pound cold press watercolor paper cut to 3 by 4 inches. And I'm going to start with my little pattern vine stamp. And it would be really helpful, I guess, if I had the sample handy. Again, for those of you who maybe have not watched this technique, I'm just using my watercolors. I'm using a flat wash brush and I'm going to sort of work dry. My brush is just moistened. It's not very wet because I don't want a lot of water to seep down into the stamp. And I'm just going to take this little pattern vine and I'm going to stamp it around the edge, leaving a little space in between and not really caring too much if I'm, being symmetrical or not. I want to say good morning to everyone. Thanks for joining us for day number 11. Can you believe how fast July is already going by? Oh my goodness. I know it's crazy, but this little pattern vine from Joan's new collection is really one of my favorites. I love, I don't know, there's just something about the style that she drew this in and just the size and everything that I really like. So there I have my little border. Excuse me. I'm going to now take my little flower stamp and I'm going to stamp it in red. I'm being quiet trying to look at the comments real quick. It's hard to paint and stamp and look at comments all at the same time, but I'm trying to multitask here. I hope that you're all taking time to watercolor this month and celebrate World Watercolor Month with me. I personally think every month is Watercolor Month, but I guess this is official, so. All right, so there I really have my border. And I mean, honestly, it could almost be done. Although there would be no reason if I wasn't going to splash them up a little bit, there would probably be no real reason to paint or to stamp in watercolor. So, because if I just wanted it to be solid like that, then I could have used an ink pad. So I will let it dry just a little bit. And now for this one, I will tell you, I went ahead and I did a wash in my background first and let it dry really well before stamping. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to, it'll take quite a while for this to dry if I do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp and then I'll do my wash after. And again, I'm going to take my India ink pad. I have a feeling this needs to be re-inked, and I don't have my re-inker handy because it's not stamping super dark, but I'm going to just try to really ink it up real well because I kind of want this to be as dark as possible. And sometimes I will tell you, when you're stamping on watercolor paper, especially if it has any texture, if it's cold press, you may not get as crisp or dark of an image just because of the texture, but it's all good, right? Yeah, Linda, you need this stamp. Huh. It's off just a little bit. I should have gone down a tiny bit, but that's okay. I'm not going to stress. I am going to hit this with a blow dryer just for a quick second. Sorry for the noise, people, but you really don't have to do that. I think I'm just a little bit paranoid sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and, well, now I'm going to give my background the wash first. So I'm going to go in here, lay down a little fresh, clean water. And again, when I did this one, I just did a wash all in that inner rectangle there. But again, I'm just not doing it for the sake of the demo, but it'll still turn out pretty much the same or very similar. And earlier when I was talking about card making, I don't want you to think that I don't like card making. I'm just not, like, I'm not very good at precision or measuring. So I've never done any kind of really technical cards much or anything like that. But I just prefer to think of greeting cards as a way to make small format art because that's what I like to do. but whatever you love to do is what you should definitely do. And I won't lie, I love it all. I only did my first art journal page. Oh goodness, well, it's been a little while now, but I didn't ever really do journaling at all until maybe about, oh, I guess 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm still not as what's the word? I'm not as not regimented. I can't think of the word, but I don't do it as often as I would like to. I'd like to be more steady with my journaling. All right, and it's a little funny because they're a little off, but that's okay. Another really nice thing, and I know I've mentioned this before, but about this brush is that it comes up to that really nice point, so I can still get in these little detail areas, but the brush loads up with plenty of water, so I can also do a little bit larger areas as well. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and go in and just give some of these little areas here just a little sploosh. You can see that it activates very easily. That color, that green gold, is really strong, so you don't need much. And then if you wanted to, you could also kind of go in and do the same thing, maybe even drop in a little bit of a different color, maybe a little of this transparent pyrrole orange, and just smush the flowers a tiny bit if you want to. And then, of course, just start going in and painting in this detail. And sort of watching your edges. It did sort of blossom together a little bit more on this one than on the original sample, but it doesn't bother me. I like it. I like how it sort of ran together like that. I like the color that it made. So if that happens, then you can even go in and make it a little more deliberate if you want to. So I just thought this was a fun way to sort of combine the just regular like outline stamping with some of the watercolor stamping and get the best of both worlds. And plus, I just wanted an excuse to paint the stamp again because I think it's so dang cute. Put in some different green. I was testing out some different greens this morning. So I have a couple that I haven't really used, and one is called Permanent Light Green, which is sort of this really pretty grass green. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that very well. And then another one called Viridian Green that I have not used before. And oh my gosh, I love it. It's sort of like a, oh goodness, like a sort of a sagey, tealy light green. And so I was really excited to discover that. I have, surprisingly, even though I am a core artist educator, I haven't tried out all the colors. So I'm working on that, and I'm I'm wanting to just sit down with every color of the core and do a color chart so that I can literally say that I've tried every color. Emily, so you don't need to have this stamp if you have any, like it, any of like the Milagro stamps or any, even just bride and groom stamps. Just have fun with it. Just stamp something. You have so many cute, wonderful ideas. I'm sorry, I looked up and saw Emily's comment and she said, I'll see what I can make as I don't have this stamp. It'll be a real challenge. Oh, and Jan said she used the Viridian green, and isn't it so cool? Oh, I was just tickled to pull that out and try it. I don't know. I guess sometimes you just gravitate towards certain things. Um, I don't know. I don't know why I never tried it, but this goes to show you it's fun to get out your stuff and experiment. And you always see something kind of new, it seems like. So for this one, I want to do it a little different. I want to do around the eyes. I want to do their faces more like the Day of the Dead faces. So I was going to give a little detail around her eyes. Because again, it's fun to add your own little twist and your own little mark making things to your stamps if you can, when you can. Give her some little lips. Oh my gosh, look at her little lips. I'm so easily entertained. And same with him. Maybe we'll give him a little mustache, a little purple mustache. And some cheeks. And there, see, give them a completely different look from just their little plain faces there, right? Gotta gussy them up a little. And maybe a little light gray. A little of that's one of my favorite grays. I know I've told you about it before. It is a Holbein color, and it's called Gray of Gray. And so I kind of just want to not really color in their faces, but give their little skulls a little bit of, I don't know, shading. I'm going to give a little sort of, I guess, drop shadow down here. I don't know. I just felt like it needed a little more value. I don't know. Just sort of messing around now at this point. And then that's pretty much it. Of course, I did stamp the sentiment, and I did use, I think I went ahead and used some watercolor there, but if I'm not, I think I'm just going to use a little bit of my Moonlight Duo ink pad. I'm not 100% sure if this is a color I would choose or not. I think it can work. And then just plop this baby right on another mat that is, that kind of coordinates with it. And then on top of the folded piece of cardstock of the color of your choice, and voila. And I'm actually really happy because I think my sample turned out a little nicer than my original. So I always love when that happens. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to stop for a moment and check out the comments and see if anybody has any questions or thoughts. And yeah, this would be such a cute, cute wedding card, or thank you for a wedding. I was just seeing if anybody else has anything else to add. If you have any comments or questions, please, of course, leave them here or message me, however you want to do it. Please make sure that you are signed up for and following our YouTube channel. Remember, I want to thank everybody who's made donations to the World Watercolor Month. Again, I give this so willingly and freely, and I'm so happy to be here. But any little donation helps me to continue to give free content. And remember, also, any donation that you give, I will send you a tiny watercolor at the end of the month. So appreciate you all a lot. I wanted to also tell you all my classes are listed now at the Queen's Ink, which is queensink.com. I'll be there in November. So please look up my classes. I'm super excited that we have something coming especially fun tomorrow. I was going to share a little something today, but I can't. Sorry. So tomorrow, make sure to tune in at 11. We have some new stuff to share with you. Super excited. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here for Watercolor Day number 11. And I will see you tomorrow at 11. Thanks again and have a wonderful day. Just reading the comments again, and it makes me laugh. So I really will go now. Bye. Have a wonderful day. I already said that.